Rakesh adds 12% of his salary in PPF. 3/8 of the remaining salary is spent in clothes. Difference between PPF and clothes expenses is 10,500. Remaining is spent on house rent and others. If house rent expenses is 1500 less than expenses in others, then what is the house rent expense? Okay, so first let's say that Rakesh's salary is 100, and out of this 100, Rakesh adds 12% of his salary in PPF. So 12% of 100, that is 12, is added in PPF. So now he is left with 100 minus 12, he is left with 88. 3/8 of the remaining salary is spent in clothes. So this is the remaining salary, and 3/8 of this remaining is spent on clothes. Difference between PPF and clothes expenses 10,500. So his spending on clothes here is 8 ones are 8 11s are and 11 3s are 33. So his expenses on clothes is 33 and his expense on PPF is 12, and the difference between PPF and clothes here is 33 minus 12, which is 21. So according to our assumptions, the difference between PPF and clothes is 21, but according to the question, difference between PPF and clothes expense is 10,500. So that means this 21 is equals to 10,500. All right. Remaining is spent on house rent and others. So after spending on clothes, he is left with 88 minus 33 is left with 55, and this 55 is spent on house rent and others. Is spent on rent and others. All right. Now we know that 21% is equals to 10,500. So what will be this 55 be equals to? So let's say this is equals to x. So let's calculate for x here. We get x is equals to, we'll do cross multiplication. 10,500 into this 55 divided by 21. So we get 3 7s are 3 3s are 9 1 3 5s are 15 0 0 7 5s are 35 0 0. So we have x is equals to 500 into 55, we get 27,500. All right. So we now know that x is equals to his total expense on rent and others is equals to 27,500. So rent on expense plus others is equals to 27,500. Question here is telling me that if the house rent expense is 1500 less than expense in others, so house rent expense is 1500 less than expenses in others, or I can say that other expense is equals to rent plus 1500. All right. Then what is the house rent expense? So let's substitute this other in this equation. So we get rent plus 1500, rent plus 1500 is equals to 27,500. This 1500 goes on the right hand side and gets subtracted. So we get 2 rent is equals to 27,500 minus 1500 is left with 26,000, and 2 ones are 2 3s are 0 0 0. So we have our answer. Rent is equals to 13,000, and this is our required answer. So here option E is the correct one, and the correct answer is 13,000.